Des, what else we got, man?
Yeah, so just some updates on the Diddy trial. So, of course, it's day 3. Cassie is taking the stand again. She is undergoing cross-examination by Diddy's legal team. So far, the prosecution is presenting a narrative centered around domestic violence, and it seems like they're building a case towards the sex trafficking. So they're highlighting Diddy's behaviors. Of course, people are saying that Cassie willingly did these things. Like yesterday, the lawyer asked her, well, why didn't you tell them to stop? So she was saying that she was in a fearful environment. She was afraid. She had 2 big men standing up over her. So it seems like they are leading up to the sex trafficking part. We do have some other witnesses that are called Jane Does that are set to testify as well. So I think when we hear from them, maybe they'll be able to speak more to the traveling for the sex and the being forced and beat to do things that they didn't want to do. It's a little different for Cassie because she actually dated Diddy. So there was some love there. They did express that she was hesitant about responding to some of the questions because she still kind of wanted to protect Puff in a way. That was what they kind of gathered based on her testimony. So as of now, there's no substantial burden of proof beyond, Cassie's personal testimony, her feelings, and her emotional account of the situation. So Diddy, he has a very strong legal team, you guys. So I am actually very anxious to hear about, how everything is going to go today. And they have a good way of finding holes in things and kind of leveraging that to their advantage. So, she gave us.
I have an idea.
What is it?
I think you should go to New York and sit in the courtroom.
Ooh. Hey, wow. I'm with that.
Listen, let's vote. If y'all think that Dez should go to New York and sit in on at least an all-day session to get information about what's going on, y'all put in the comments, man. Let me know.
Wow. Yes, that would be so dope.
I would love that.
Woo. And you gonna get the facts.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all everything. Y'all.
I know.
I'm coming outside at 12 p.m. with the juice.
That would be so dope.
That'd be cold-blooded, man.
Yes.
And Cassie, she gave a lot of details, you guys. She talked about the freak-offs, how sometimes they would last up to 4 days. She did mention that Diddy provided extra linens because a lot of times she was forced to do this while she was on her menstrual cycle. They would use at least 10 bottles of baby oil because he liked to see her very oily. They would pour candle wax on each other.
I'm sorry.
Man, come on, Chris.
I'm
come on, dog. We're in the middle of a segment, man. We're in the middle of a segment. We're in the middle of a segment. And she's trying to inform the public about what's going on because we cannot see the trial. And you going to just bust out and speaking in an unknown tongue.
Holy and acceptable unto him who was
We're trying to, y'all, come on. We're trying to give the people information.
Okay, we sorry.
We're not in church, y'all. We're trying to inform the people about what's going on. This is a real trial. Yes. This stuff really happened, and we're trying to get an update because we can. And you all are you're speaking in tongues in the middle of a professional segment. Right. You all need to repent.
Not repent. Jeez, I can't take it. Okay, I'm sorry. Jesus.
All right.
So, Diddy did instruct her to pick the male escorts of her choice. They did use Craigslist, Backpage, and they even worked with some escort agencies. At first, his only requirement was a big genital area, but then he kind of increased those requirements. Sometimes he would watch them have sexual intercourse and he would masturbate, and other times he will join in on the activity. So they actually had some favorites, and one of the favorites testified in court. He was the first person to come to the stand, and we are also waiting to hear from the LAPD officer who was a witness to some things.
So let me tell you what I think, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't think this has anything to do with any of that. I think, this is my opinion, I think the Fed said, how can we get him for what we know he did concerning either Biggie or Tupac?
Oh, yeah, that's good. I believe that.
Suge Knight did come up.
Yes.
Because Suge Knight came up yesterday.
I believe
he came up yesterday.
I think it hit me this morning. I said, you know what? This is what this is what they do all the time. They say, okay, well, we can't get them here.
Yeah.
And somebody will work that case and work that case and work that case and say, we're going to find a loophole to put this person. And so I believe, y'all, at some point, one of those two individuals is going to come up.
Yeah.
Wow.
What y'all think? I don't know anything about it, but I'm just saying that's what I believe.
Why did he come up?
Well, they were describing when he would get angry, who he would partner with, and there was some type of beef between Suge Knight and Diddy. So Cassie kind of touched base on that, like what she witnessed between the two of them. So yeah, she was talking about his rage. So.
And the reason I'm saying that, Chris, is because the industry, like we talked about yesterday, politics, entertainment. Shoot, y'all, your local P&G, all your factories, they do this stuff all the time. So let's stop playing with this stuff. Orgies, okay, cool, right?
Yeah.
We're literally not having a conversation about Diddy's sexcapades.
Yeah.
This couldn't be what it is.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's got to be something else, y'all.
It has to be, because honestly, if Diddy goes down for this, he can take half of Hollywood with him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Release
like
photos now of his parties. We saw Kylie Jenner. What's their mama name?
Kris
Jenner. Kanye West. The type of people that were in these photos, they were at those parties too. So it's like it can't just be limited to Diddy. Other people were participating. So I think that it has to be something deeper than what's being presented. And right now people are saying, so Diddy is on trial for being a freak. Now this a little past freaky though. That man perverted. But
it makes sense though.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think you should go to New York. What did they say, y'all?
You have 96% saying yes.
Wow.
Yes. One person said no. I'm just curious to know who said no.
I would love to. That's beautiful.
I think you should.
Wow.
Yes, that would be amazing.
All right.
We getting it
We'll
right
talk
from
to you
the
live
source.
from New York. That'd be fine.
Des, what if you what if you end up blowing up like a journalist and stuff like
You
that?
think?
She always wanted to be
I
a journalist.
always wanted to.
Because your bachelor's is in English.
Yes, and that's because I wanted to work for a magazine. Like I wanted to be an editor or something along those lines. Yeah,
Look at
I've
that.
always wanted to be in journalism.
All right now.
This is
You
dope.
you may
Get ready.
You may blow up, dog.
Because right now in the, I guess I can say, Black community, like the information that we're getting is literally from like one person.
Yeah.
Like we're not getting I mean, everybody
Yeah.
knows what the Breakfast Club is. So, you go up there. All right.
And she said she liked to talk to people in the courtroom. I'm gonna find her.
I know you will.
I can see you doing
I
that.
can see that.
I can see you
I
doing
can see
that.
that.
Yeah, you gonna have her number and everything.
We gonna be friends.
Yep.
See?
Wow.
Go.
Wow.
Go.
Man, y'all show your love, man.